Welcome back. In my previous webcasts, I have taken you through a journey of business continuity and disaster recovery and covered to a smaller aspect, IT governance. In this series, I seek to take you on a journey of IT service management based on ITIL framework. The way I plan to do the series is firstly take you through the various terms and definitions that are used in IT service management, and I will enrich this based on what other consultants have to say and my experience. So what you get is a holistic view of a particular term or a definition and why it is used and how it can be helpful for you. It was helpful for me, this holistic approach, and I hope it helps you. The first thing we will identify is what is a service catalog. I feel that the service catalog and the configuration management database are the fulcrum which balance the customer who seeks something from IT and the IT which delivers it to the customer. Service catalog and configuration management database are the fulcrum. As we go further, I'll explain why I say this. So what exactly is a service catalog made up of? A customer, in order to carry out his business processes, needs IT services. So these services are something that I would refer to as service catalog. Now the customer doesn't see all the services that the IT provides him. So I have the top portion of the cylinder, which I would call as the customer facing or the business service catalog. And then I have the IT supporting the business service catalog with what I would call as the technical service catalog. So the technical service catalog would be the interdependencies, it would be the supporting services that actually help the business service catalog to happen. The customer has a view of the business service catalog, and he may or may not have a view of the technical service catalog depending on his technical maturity levels. An example of this would be the antivirus updates. The customer may not actually request for an antivirus update, but the IT would still push it down to the customer. The business service catalog and the technical service catalog would also include those IT services which are ready for deployment. So the ones which are ready for deployment could be both a part of the business service catalog and the technical service catalog. So I will say ready. In ITIL version 3, there is a concept of request management in which a customer can actually request for services. So for example, if I want to download Visio for making flowcharts, initially the approach would be I call the help desk, raise a ticket, and they would record it as an incident. But since this has a predefined path with a known conclusion, it would be a service request. And if my organization is IT savvy and ITSM mature, I could actually go online to a web portal and I could request for this. So some of the services could actually be requested by the customer, and then they would follow their own path of request fulfillment. So a smaller component of the business service catalog, since the customer is going to view them, is the request service catalog. Now, in addition to the business service catalog, which includes the request service catalog and those ready for deployment, and the technical service catalog, we have the services which are in pipeline and which are in production. And similarly, we could have services that are retired. Why is the retired services also part of the service catalog? Two reasons. One is that the customer could request for a service which has been retired and maybe you might need to allow it back. Or it is also a part of the life cycle wherein a service is actually put into the retired service catalog, so the customer is aware that this service is no longer available, and after a period of time the service is then deleted or removed from the retired services. From production pipeline to retirement, we have the service catalog. The service catalog is a subset of the service portfolio. So what is a service portfolio? Service portfolio is the business services offered to the customer, and they say as to what these services are, what do they comprise of, and what is the guarantee of the service. The service portfolio is like a package which you purchase. It says that this is what you are buying, this is what it is made up of, and this is what the conditions are that apply for you when you request for the particular package. The service level agreements which the IT department makes with the end user are typically based on the business service catalog. And the operating level agreements within the internal IT departments and the underpinning contracts of the IT department with the external service providers are a part of the technical service catalog. The service portfolio would comprise of service strategy as to this is what the service is supposed to do, the service design, this is how it is going to do, service transition, this is how we would put it into implementation, service operation, and continual service improvement. A brief recap. So we have the services catalog made up of the business service catalog, of which a subset is the request service catalog. The service catalog is also made up of the technical service catalog. Both the business and the technical service catalog could have a list of services that are ready for deployment. The service catalog is also made up of services which are planned or in production and services that have been retired. And the entire service catalog is a subset of the service portfolio, which is about service strategy, design, transition, operation, and continuous service improvement. Thank you for listening, and please be back.